Hello everybody, my name is Marlowe and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Survival, where in the last episode we built this observation point at the top of the mountain here, as well as various other things. Today we're going to be building something that's a little bit bigger. And for once, it's not actually going to be built in the mountains here. It's going to be built right on the edge of them, just where we have all of our crop farms over here. I would really like to get rid of these because they're super ugly. So the build that we're going to do today, which is actually a greenhouse, is going to go roughly in that spot right there. But I would actually like to do some more building on this bottom section, just at the base of the mountain here, kind of surrounding this giant hole that we have formed. The only trouble is I don't really know what to build, which is why, to start off today's episode, I'm asking you guys for some build ideas. What do you think we should make down here at the bottom of the mountain that can incorporate that giant opening into the earth into the build itself? So let me know your best ideas in the comments so I got an idea for what we can do in the future. As you may have guessed, keeping up with the theme of a lot of the buildings in this world here, the greenhouse is going to have some sort of functionality. We're going to be making at least one farm underneath it, which for today's episode I think is just going to be a sugarcane farm. I need this for paper so I can make lots of rockets. We've already got a wheat farm up there in the watermill, and I could maybe do with having a pumpkin farm, possibly a melon farm, but that's not really of top priority. Sugarcane, however, is, because I've had enough of harvesting all of my sugarcane to craft the paper this way. I would like it to be automatic. Plus, it's really, really loud, isn't it? So to start off today's episode, I think we're just going to go ahead and build that sugarcane farm. However, it is going to be going underground, hidden away because it's not the prettiest of things. So I need to grab myself my beacon, which I put up here, I believe. There we go, we got our beacon, and we should have enough iron to make the full base of it if we go and grab some more from our iron blacksmith just round the corner there. I've got all of my supplies for my beacon. Now it's time to dig a big old hole and build the sugarcane farm. The design I'm using is from Tango Tech. Link is going to be in the description. Already we are sitting at nearly one stack of sugarcane, and considering I've only just finished building this farm, those rates are more than enough for me. Now before I talk about this farm, I've just realized you guys can't really see a thing because we have this line of blocks blocking the view. So I'm going to go very quickly grab some glass and then I'll just quickly talk you through how I could possibly expand this farm if needed. There we go, that's a bit easier to see into now. So if it turns out the rates of this farm aren't quick enough for what I need, which as I said I think it will be, but if there's a time where it isn't, I can very easily expand this. Either upwards, forwards, or to either of the sides. That's the beauty of this design. Not only that, but it's also lossless, which is fantastic. It means I get 100% of the sugarcane harvested. It's a very clever design from Tango, I must say. But yeah, if I need more sugarcane, all I gotta do is dig a slightly bigger hole and just place some more blocks down in the pattern that I have here. Very simple stuff. I have made a slight mistake with this farm. Nothing that bad, it's fine. It's just an extra step I have to take in the process now. But you can see my chest is here, roughly minus 910, 1060. Now, can you guys remember I said I wanted to build the greenhouse on the surface? Well, those coordinates are nowhere near. I was meant to build the collection system in the other corner, so now minus 10, 1060 is like around this spot right here. I needed the drops to go to around this spot. As I said, not that big a deal. I'll just send them in a water stream, but yeah, probably should have checked where I was building it before I started placing all those blocks. With the sugarcane farm being built, I suppose we can go ahead and get started on the greenhouse, which, as I've mentioned multiple times in today's episode, is going to be going roughly here, which is not very flat at the moment, so I'll definitely have to do some terraforming. The build we're doing kind of has to be built on a flat surface. It's not one of those that have a foundation, like my observatory, for example, that kind of can be built over multiple Y levels because the base of it is a repetition, right? It's very simple. I love those sort of builds. It's very nice to build on multiple Y levels, but this one is not suited to it. It has to be completely flat, so gonna have to level this out and then we can get started with the building. So cue the time lapse and I'll see you guys very soon. I know what you're probably thinking. Didn't I say just before building this that I needed it all to be on one Y level, a completely flat surface, and here I am not doing that. So around the front of the build, I've actually lowered the base of this greenhouse down by a block. Turns out it actually works pretty well that way. I wouldn't have wanted to go down by any more blocks, just one extra is enough, otherwise I think it would have looked a little bit weird, but that just helps out the build tremendously and saves me having this huge area because this is a really big building just on one Y level. It would have made the terrain look a little bit weird even if there was something placed on top of it, so I'm really glad I did that, to be honest. So how do you guys like the greenhouse? The shape is maybe a little bit different to what you might imagine a greenhouse to be shaped like. We've gone for a circular design instead of something maybe a bit more rectangular, and I actually really quite like that. I love how this shape has turned out. I think it looks really, really nice. I love the bit of green or lime terracotta that is actually just snuck in here next to the spruce. It blends very well, but after all, this is a greenhouse, so having a nice sliver of green every now and again I think is a lovely touch. And I also love it next to the white glass. Green and white are definitely some colors I want to start using more. Something else I want to mention are these things on the sides of the greenhouse. Now, these are only in place because I felt like the very spherical shape of this building was a little bland on its own and it looked as though it was missing something, so I've just gone ahead and chucked one of those on either side, and I think they really help. But I'm not sure what they're for. You guys are going to have to give me a definitive answer on what you think they should be for, but my idea maybe was it's something to do with air circulation, possibly carbon dioxide could come in from one and oxygen out of the other, possibly store the oxygen, maybe it can pump out nutrients into all of the crops here and help them grow and stay healthy. I'm not entirely sure. If you got any ideas of some fun lore we could attach to those machines, let me know down in the comments. Some of you may be wondering why I haven't got connected textures for the glass turned on. That's because I'm not really that big of a fan of connected textures. For those who don't know what I'm on about, basically there's a feature of Optifine which allows you to get rid of these borders on the glass blocks and kind of make them all phase into each other. It looks really, really nice on bigger builds where you use a whole bunch of glass like we have here. But for smaller builds where you only have tiny little windows, I'm not that big of a fan. However, this build does look very nice with them turned on, so real quickly let me just give you a glimpse as to what it looks like. It's very, very subtle, but certainly a welcome change. Unfortunately, there's no way of having both options running at the same time, it's one or the other, but I gotta say, the greenhouse does look much better without all of the lines in the glass kind of blocking the view. Definitely prefer this, but only really for this build alone, not any of the others I've done. One last thing to mention about this build, I'm waiting for the copper at the bottom here and the top I suppose to oxidize a little bit to this level, which is the exposed level, so only one after this one, so hopefully it shouldn't be that long of a wait, but I'm just waiting for all of this to deteriorate a little bit before I give it a wax. And acquiring the wax will be no problem at all because I have basically an infinite amount of honeycomb. This farm is crazy quick. I do not need all of this, but I have all of this, and honestly, I don't know what to do with it all. So the final thing to do for our greenhouse here is to link up our sugarcane farm down below to this level here, or actually one underneath. I think we're just going to dig down this block by a few. Oh no, you can see I cheaped out using slabs. Don't judge me, please. Brick is expensive. So I'm just going to dig down there, make a very, very simple storage room. I'm honestly probably just going to have like a line of chests, nothing proper at all. And I'll throw the sugarcane in there. That way, when I need it, I can just come in here, drop down to the middle and grab a little bit of sugarcane. There is something very satisfying about watching items flow down a stream of water when they load in. Oh, I'm just collecting them. Whoops. Get back in there. As I was saying, oh, please stop giving them to me. I don't want them. Go to the storage. It's very nice to look at, isn't it? Anyway, we can now get ourselves out of this hole and patch that thing up. If I could just snag a dirt block, thank you very much. Oh, I already had some. Whoopsie, sorry, there we go. So the hole's filled in. I probably won't need to go back down there, but I can always dig my way through if I need to check on the farm for whatever reason, but hopefully I shouldn't have to do that. And all I've done for the storage, you could probably tell in that very quick block placing montage, it's simple. It's about as simple as you can get. This doesn't need to be pretty. I don't care how this looks. It's hidden out of the way. It's only to hold all of my sugarcane, which slowly but surely is making its way into the storage here. Well, there we go. That is the greenhouse project and sugarcane farm all done. We got a little bit of time left in today's episode, so let's go do something else. So in the last episode, we did a little bit of landscaping here with these custom trees, as well as this little waterfall just in the background. And you guys seem to really like what we did here, and I will definitely be doing some more of this gradually throughout the rest of the mountain range here. However, in that episode, I also mentioned about pathways. More specifically saying I wasn't sure whether I was going to add them in or not, and I'm still not sure, honestly. I don't think I'm going to know until I get a lot more of these trees down. But if I do add in any type of pathway, I would like to have a design on standby. So I'm going to hop into my creative test world and see if I can come up with anything that will look nice in a mountain biome. Of course, we have to keep in mind there's a lot of snow around here, which isn't usually a block that I've run a pathway through before. Usually it's dirt or grass, which is very simple. I'll just use a path block and maybe some coarse dirt and spruce mixed in or something like that. Snow is a little bit different, so I'm thinking we go for more of a rocky road, minus the marshmallows. So here we have my 4 pathway designs. Option A is the spruce pathway. Option B is the granite and brick pathway. Option C is the stone pathway, and then option D, the wild card, is the basalt and deep slate pathway. Which one is your favorite? I personally am leaning more towards option C here with the stone pathway. This was my original idea, but I also really quite like the spruce pathway. I think that would work quite well next to the stone, but I'm curious as to what you guys have to say about all 4 of these. I should mention, I'm not 100% set on keeping all of these blocks the same. Let's say we end up using the stone pathway here. I may get rid of the tuff, for example, or mix in just some regular stone, something like that. These are more just to give you an idea. So what you can do is either let me know in the comments below, A, B, C, or D. That's all you've got to write, or you can write more if you would like to. It's up to you. Or you can head over to my Twitter, where hopefully I will have remembered to make a poll with an image attached, just the same A, B, C, or D, and you can vote on that, and that way I get a clearer idea as to what everyone's liking, because I'll have the exact percentages. And by the way, my Twitter is in the description down below, so all you gotta do is head down there, click on the Twitter link, and vote on the poll. You can also follow me if you want to. And if it isn't already clear, I'm not 100% set on the pathway idea. I may not do any at all, but I don't think I'm going to know until all of the buildings in this little area are done, along with the trees and everything else. And once that is all in place, then I can decide whether I like the idea of pathways. I think I will, just maybe not leading to every single building. For example, the observatory is a little bit difficult to get to, so to get up to that we might have to do something a little bit different. Possibly similar to what we have leading up to the observation deck here. But we don't have to worry about any of that at the moment, because we're not going to be doing it just yet. For right now, I just want to see what you guys have to say, and then I can come to a decision afterwards. I'm stuck. How do I get out of here? Gonna have to use the door like a normal person. Something I haven't done in a little while is check on our villager wheat farm in the watermill here. So off camera, I believe, I don't think I mentioned this on camera, but I switched out the villager we had. I disposed of the one that was already there. How? I will not tell you how, that's a secret, but I replaced him with a new one and kind of wiped his inventory clean of seeds, because that was the problem with the last one, and I made a couple of changes with the farm itself. I think it's working, because I'm getting a bunch of seeds and wheat. Yeah, that is much better than what we had before. So no bone meal is being made anymore, nor bread, only wheat and seeds. So good, that's all in working order. I suppose with the greenhouse all built and the prospect of possibly building some more things around this area, I should probably do a cleanup job. It's really messy down here, so I think I'm going to get rid of the villager houses. I know it's kind of special that they naturally spawned here, but they don't look great, do they? And there's only 3 of them, so I'm going to get rid of those. Going to get rid of the cow pen because I don't need the steak or leather anymore. We got the hoglin farm. Don't need that crop farm, I definitely don't need the sugarcane farm, and I don't really need the pumpkin farm. If I do find myself needing pumpkins, I can always build a farm underground the greenhouse here, and I can link it up to the storage system, and we can have a bit of a 2-in-1 farm. Same goes for melons or any other crop that I need. I think having this be the central location for them would be a pretty cool idea. I've just remembered, I do in fact have 2 villagers inside of these homes. This is my farmer, whose trades are quite low because I actually cured him a couple of times, so I would like to keep him around. And there's no one in here anymore, so this building can go. Alright, that saves me a little bit of trouble. Don't know what I'm going to do with you just yet though, sir. Oh, there we go. That is so much neater with all of that clutter gone, with the exception of this guy right here. I need to do something with him at some point in time. You may have also noticed in that time lapse, I broke the sugarcane really quickly, like that. Instantly gone, and that's because I covered up the water sources first of all, and when you do that and have unhydrated sugarcane, dehydrated sugarcane not placed next to a water source, it gets a little bit funky when you break them because it updates all of the sugarcane adjacent to it at once, so they just kind of pop out of existence. It's very satisfying, so enjoy this quick clip. I'll be honest, I don't know what to do with this farmer. I don't really need him. I could probably just dispose of him like the other farmer in the wheat farm, but I won't because this guy has been around for a while, since the start of this world. He's been here just as long as I have, along with my librarian, who is living a life of luxury in that house, which he has all to himself now. So I feel like it would be mean just to, you know, delete this guy. So we are going to keep him, but for now I just want to make him a little bit safe. So I was either going to move him, or I thought, let me just keep him here in a position he is, whoa, steady on there, used to, and I'll just elevate him a little bit so he won't have to worry about being eaten by zombies. Hopefully I can push a composter with a piston. Yep. Okay, let's just get you a little bit higher so I know you're definitely going to be safe. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, you know, we can go a few blocks more. We'll just keep going a second. Okay, there we go. That's as high as I can get him. And yeah, I definitely say that is high enough out of reach of any zombies. Unless they can fly, then he's absolutely screwed. That is a truly majestic sight. How very beautiful. One last thing I would like to mention before we end off today's video is the change in music we've had over the previous 2 episodes. You may have noticed that it's no longer Minecraft music. Instead, I'm using music directly from the music library here on YouTube. So, long story short, I've been having a lot of copyright claims with Minecraft music in my videos. Very, very frequently at the moment. Far too frequently for my liking, and it's just not worth the risk to continue using them because copyright is a scary thing. Even though I'm allowed to use C418's music, like I said, YouTube's copyright system, it's very broken. Anyone can like claim it for themselves and have basically no negative repercussions. However, if it goes badly for me, you know, channel deleted in worst case scenario, which would not be good. That's definitely not what we want. So I'm kind of prioritizing keeping my channel alive rather than the music. So hopefully you guys aren't minding it too much. I'm enjoying it. It's a little bit different, but it is very weird, and it's not Minecraft music. Nothing ever will be. But hopefully you guys aren't minding it and maybe you're enjoying it. But yeah, that's just why I've suddenly stopped using it, in case any of you are wondering. But anyway, I gotta go to bed here because it's getting late. As you can see, there's a bit of a blizzard around. So I will say goodbye for this week. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Thank you ever so much for doing that, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.